The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press, the Independent, and the Two River Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 7th, 2022. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeewoman Kratz. Committeeman Sedambrino. Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. First item on tonight's agenda, we have a certificate of appreciation for a presentation recognizing Middletown High School North hockey team for winning Shore Conference Hanshin Cup title. At this time, I'd like to invite head coach Don Wood and assistant coaches and the team to join Mayor Perry at the front of the room. Oh.
On down. So, gentlemen, first of all, congratulations. Made a lot of people proud. So I just wanted to tell you that, obviously, right, we were all up in the Peru. Up there with our board vet president, Frank Capone, our township administrator, Tony Milton-Tante. Felt in that room. I had been to a Devils game about 3 weeks earlier. You had Devils fans, okay, a few weeks earlier. And that was the vibe that you brought to your high school, to your families, right? Mom and dads have been bringing you to practice for how many years now, practicing this sport that you all love. And that's what's critical. Proud to be in the stands that day. I was proud at the end of that game to know that Middletown High School North was there to represent. No matter what the end result was, you guys proved that there may have been doubters out there, but you proved that you deserve to be there, and you gave the #1 team in the state of New Jersey a hell of a ride through 3 periods. A lot to be proud of. So I want to congratulate you. I have a certificate for everybody, but I'm going to let the coach say a few words.
Having us here tonight, this beautiful new building. There to, like you said, didn't end the way we wanted.
It's a whole bunch of them screaming in the down.
So, parents, siblings, grandparents, just families, the whole community support. Double game, so it was great to see, and like I said, we couldn't be more proud of this.
Thank you. So guys, I have, on behalf of the Middletown Township Committee, I have certificates for all of you, congratulating you, and I'll just read them real quick. Township of Middletown hereby congratulates Middletown High School North on winning the Shore Conference Cup for the second time in the school's history as part of your program's fifth Shore Conference Championship. In addition to this incredible victory, your team has had an unforgettable season from winning the Mayor's Cup, which, by the way, I just want to say, I think in every single year that I've been mayor, this is my fourth year, this is the first time I think that we had a winner, correct? It was tied each of the years prior to that. So your team has had an unforgettable season from winning the Mayor's Cup to competing in the Public B Finals. Your ability to lead and inspire our youth and our athletes. Very proud to recognize you for this incredible. Celebrate many more. Gentlemen, congratulations on a great season. Because this is the first team that we've been able to celebrate in this brand new building. So you get to hang your hat a little bit on that. So when you come back, watch the guy up front. Watch.
One, two.
So you can make a motion.
To go into a 2-minute recess. Seconded
favor?
by Committeewoman Kratz. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Now you don't have a reason that you have to stay, but if you want to learn about a budget, feel free. Have a great night, everybody.
Okay. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have approval of minutes from the February 22nd regular meeting and March 7th workshop meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Committeeman Clark,
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz, Committeeman Sedambrino,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve minutes. Okay. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have public hearing on proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2022-3334, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank per NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
Motion to introduce. Second. I'm sorry.
Public hearing.
This is a public hearing. See, I got all nervous because Colleen was, making noises down there.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2020-3334? Okay. You're good, Vin? Okay. Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz. Yes. Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next ordinance for public hearing, we have 2022-3335, an ordinance amending Chapter 465 of the Code of the Township of Middletown, governing vehicles and traffic for Navesink Hook and Ladder Company Number 1 parking.
Motion, any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2022-3335? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz. Yes. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this ordinance on second and final reading. At this time, we have introduction of proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance for introduction, 2022-3336, bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 2021-3326, finally adopted by the Township Committee of the Township of Middletown, New Jersey on December 20th, 2021.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz. Yes. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 4th, 2022. Our next ordinance for introduction, we have 2022-3337, ordinance amending ordinance number 2021-3327, establishing fair market value for property identified as Block 865, Lot 134, generally known as Fairview Fields within the Township of Middletown, and authorizing acquisition of Block 865, Lot 134 by purchase or eminent domain for the purpose of maintaining the public recreational facilities on the site.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz. Yes. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 4th, 2022. At this time, we have items for the municipal budget. We have a resolution 22-98, a resolution to read budget by title. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz. Yes. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this resolution. And at this time, I'd like to invite Colleen Lapp, our Chief Financial Officer, to present the budget.
Thank you. This evening, we're introducing the 2022 municipal budget for the Township of Middletown. I have a brief presentation to go through with you. The first one is a pie chart, and it breaks down different cost centers within the budget. What I like to point out each year is that you can see the larger portions of the budget are salary and wage, insurance, debt service, operating expenses, pension and retirement. There's very little in here that's truly discretionary without cutting services or cutting personnel. So we try each year our best to keep those items as steady as possible, but we can't deliver services without having the resources, both human and otherwise. So this year, salary and wage makes up a little over 33% of our budget. Our various insurances, a little over 12%. Our debt services, a little under 10%. Pension and retirement, a little over 7%. And our operating expenditures, which is across all of the departments, is a little over 20%. The next pie chart is a breakdown of the 2021 tax levies as they were used to strike our rate for 2021. This is demonstrating how the tax dollars are broken down. So if you think about every dollar in taxes that are paid to the township, 62% of that goes to the school to support their operations. 23% supports our direct operations here at the municipal level. The county gets 11%, and then the various open space and library make up the remainder of our tax levies. For 2021 versus 2022, I'm going to go through the changes in the property tax. For the levy, we are increasing this year $2,225,776. The proposed tax rate is 0.429, which is down from last year by 0.040. The reason for that is our assessed values have increased greatly, as they have throughout New Jersey and I'm sure in other parts of the country as well. But here in Middletown especially, we've seen our property values increase. They're very, we have very desirable properties. We have, part of what our budget supports are the operations and the things that we offer to our residents that make our town so desirable. So with the assessed values increasing, it makes the tax rate drop. So that's why we're seeing that this year. The 2022 net valuation taxable this is our preliminary amount. We just went through tax appeals. So once that's finally settled, we'll have our final net valuation taxable sometime in May. The average assessed residential home increased from 467,271 to 530,214 year over year. So again, demonstrating that increase in value. So with that, we take the average assessed residential home at 532,14, compare it to last year at 467,271, apply the tax rates that are applicable for each year, and we are looking at an increase on the average home of about $7.71 per month. Some of the cost drivers in this year's budget, some of them are things that we typically see, some of them were not, some of them are new this year. So one of the areas that we saw a big increase was in technology. We have a lot of needs for different applications, different hardware, security measures. So to get those things implemented and make sure that our information is secure and make sure that we can give our residents easy access to many of our permits or other things that we typically would come into town hall for. We're trying to get more and more where we can offer things online, paperless, payment solutions that will, try and fit everything. So with that, we keep increasing our technology, not only for acquiring those things, but then that has an impact on the technology infrastructure. And again, then requires that we make sure that our security is up to date as well. So the technology increase this year has a lot to do with those things. Solid waste and recycling, that's a big division within DPW. And we have, again, more and more demand for those type of things. Recycling, we're trying to be innovative. We try and bring new programs to the public. We try and make our recycling center more accessible. And then the cost of tipping fees, which is, paying for dumping our garbage. And the recycling market has also taken a hit. So those costs are just kind of feeding into this one division. So it's a matter of trying to offer better solid waste and recycling options, but it's also that the market costs are driving up. Police, the pension, that had an increase this year. The pension rates for both pension funds, both police and public employees, increased this year. That's determined by the state actuaries. That increase this year was $297,000. Our fuel, we looked at our fuel consumption for last year. We added about a 30% increase. Not sure where fuel prices are going to go. So we're trying to take a responsible but conservative approach. We don't want to overtax by increasing it too great an amount, but we have to increase it because we know the costs are up this year. So we took our best estimate and increased that. Police salary and wage, that goes along with the police pension as well. As salary and wage goes up, the pension costs go up. We don't see it year for year. This increase will be seen in 2 years down the road, but we had an increase in the police salary and wage. Streets and roads, and police salary and wages for all of the police departments, not just the sworn officers. Streets and roads, that's another one where we have leaf collection was a big driver in the streets and roads budget this year. A lot of that's done by contractors, and we had to go out for bid, and we had an increase in that cost this year. And then finally, I always end with the energy tax receipts. Way long ago, municipalities used to collect this tax directly. And then the state decided that it would be easier for the larger energy companies to pay the state, and then they would redirect those revenues to the municipalities. However, we stopped seeing any increases, and we actually had a decrease many years ago, and then we've remained flat. So I always like to demonstrate that since 2001, the amount that we've been underfunded according to the statutory calculation totals $74,765,729. To put that in perspective, that's larger than the entire proposed municipal tax levy for this budget. And even in 1 year, if we were getting what we should be getting this year, it would be over $6 million in revenue that are collected from the larger utility companies, but just have not made their way back to the municipality. And that's it for the presentation. If there's any questions.
All right, thank you, Colleen. Any questions for Colleen? Okay, the energy receipts, the rate of inflation, Colleen, and to you and your team, great job as always. Good presentation. It's a shame to see the rate of inflation, far and exceeding, obviously having a massive, impact on our budget just this year alone. $50,000 as of January 1st impact on from the minimum wage,
Right.
Which doesn't include what's going to happen next year. And because of labor costs, right, we're not even able to pay most of our folks minimum wage because nobody will work for that
Right.
amount. But you're already 50,000 right off the bat on Jan 1. So with fuel prices and everything else that's happening, it's 8% inflation. Everything, all the services that the municipality is now forced to pay for is impacted by that.
And the fuel, as we all know, it doesn't just impact that one line.
Well, it impacts almost every delivery that we get. Almost
Exactly.
everybody is now charged. Almost all of our deliveries are charging us fuel surcharge fees and things of that nature. So, what happens when UPS and WB Mason and all those start tacking those onto us? The municipality has to pay for it. So, okay. Any questions for Colleen? No, Colleen, as always, great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Heidi?
At this time, we have the Resolution 22-99, a resolution authorizing the introduction of the 2022 municipal budget.
Motion to introduce.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt Resolution 22-99 with a public hearing set for April 18th, 2022. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a consent agenda, which it includes resolutions 22-100 through 22-115, including bingo and raffle applications and firefighter application for Joshua M. Cheatham.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt consent agenda. At this time, we have Township Committee comments.
All right, Committeeman Clark. Just like to extend my congratulations to the North Hockey Team. So it's, Mayor Perry says it all the time. It's one of the great things that we get to do is recognize the students in our community for outstanding effort. So great job there. And then to the CFO and her team, great job. Yeah, it's you guys have a real tough job trying to find ways to protect every member of this municipality and their tax dollar and maximize it. And you guys really busted your butts hard to do that, and we appreciate it.
Senator Brino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to echo Committeeman Clark's comments with regard to Middletown North Hockey and our fantastic CFO and budget. It may look easy when when the CFO comes out with a budget, but it takes months and months and months of work. So thank you very much. Thank you for protecting us, the municipality.
Thank you.
That's all I have tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeewoman Kratz.
Also echoing the same sentiments and big congratulations to North's hockey team. And also thank you, Colleen, for preparing the budget and your team and explaining it so well and going through it all. It's a daunting task that doesn't go unnoticed, all of your hard work. So thank you very much. Big congratulations also to our mayor. I had the privilege of attending the 4 chaplains ceremony yesterday at the VFW 2171 in Port Monmouth. And our mayor was honored with the humanitarian award for his efforts and work with our veterans, and which also includes our veterans home. So a very big honor, and all of the hard work that you've done along with the Township Committee in honoring our veterans, and very well done. So congratulations.
Thank you. Boy, you got a tough job following her now. Deputy Mayor.
I'll echo everyone's comments on the budget, but I do need to, I want to make sure I point out all the department heads. I know it's very hard. We ask you to do, many things and try to be creative and try to find money. Not just once, many times, many texts to everyone, and everyone did a great job. So I just want to thank you. To the hockey players, I don't know if everyone heard, Frank, if you can please do whatever it is with the computer you do. The mayor said he was going to take care of his hair by next meeting, similar to those boys out there. Amazing job. They look great. They were not only the best hockey players, they're definitely the best dressed. I want to give a shout out to a business opening we went to. One of my favorite things is, or anyone knows me, is ice cream. So I want to frozen flavors. Jordan and Tatiana and their wife opened up an ice cream place about a year ago on Palmer Ave. The mayor and myself and Raven, I don't know where she is, but we went there, and of course I had to get ice cream, and Tony said, "Oh, I don't want it," but he ended up getting it. But just to open up a business in the climate that we are experiencing. Maybe that was Frank's ringtone. I don't know. That's great. But just somebody trying to open up a business in these times, it's just hats off to them, because it's hard enough just at normal times, but to try to open up something now is a big deal. If anyone wants to know, it's on Palmer Ave, close to 36. It's right next to Jocks. Great ice cream, great people, and definitely want to give Jordan and Tatiana, his wife, a shout out. So
What's the name?
it is Frozen Flavors.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, do you have any flavor recommendations?
Oh, does he?
I spread the ice cream love out, so because I don't want to hit too many places, but I'm a vanilla peanut butter guy, so my favorite.
He was, if I could just correct the record, Heidi, he was 10 minutes late, and he asked me if I would order his ice cream, so it was ready when he got there. I just want to be clear.
Okay. So if I could just be clear about something.
I was worried about the crowd, so I said, "Can you believe?" This is a true story. Don't share that.
What else you got?
I'm finished. Thank you.
First, I just want to thank, Committeewoman Kratz, thank you very much for your kind words. I want to thank the VFW, Dennis Beauregard and the VFW Post 2179. They do a great job. And, I was very humbled to receive the humanitarian award. I said yesterday that I really, and I mean this, I felt unworthy of receiving the award, and mainly because you're sitting in a room of people that have sacrificed so much, that have given so much to their country, to veterans, and to get that award and know all the ins and outs of things that others were doing was very humbling. So, but I am very grateful, and I am very honored to have received the Four Chaplains Humanitarian Award. So I want to thank our Veterans Affairs Committee and everyone that made that day very, very nice. So I'm very grateful for that. I want to thank Chief Weber, and I want to thank the Middletown Police Department. A few days ago, they were down, and I want to congratulate Deputy Chief Bailey for graduating from the FBI Academy. They went down, and there was actually a representative of the Ukrainian Homeland Security Force that was there. And in a very short amount of time, Craig Weber was able to collect over 60 flak jackets and helmets and things of that nature, which were given to the representative from the Ukrainian Homeland Security and provided to in the effort to liberate and free them from Vladimir Putin's lunatic ambitions of overtaking the Ukraine. And then finally, I just want to thank and congratulate Amy Jennings, Mrs. Jennings from Bayview School, who received our Distinguished Citizen of the Year award. And I see Abe Littenberg in the back there who received it last year. But Amy Jennings is an unbelievable teacher, an unbelievable leader in our community, somebody who teaches a special education class at Bayview and who has truly inspired these young people to develop businesses and understand how business works, but also giving back to that community and benefiting No Limits Cafe, benefiting our veterans. And she just does such an incredible job. And the best part about giving the Distinguished Citizen of the Year award, and it's true for Abe, it's true for Amy, is that these are individuals who aren't looking for recognition. They're not looking for credit. They're just doing what they love to do. And that was clear with Amy, with Abe, and everybody who's received this award. So I just want to congratulate her. I want to thank the Deputy Mayor was there, Committeewoman Kratz was there, our Board of Education President, Frank Capone, was there. So it was just we did it in her classroom. Normally, we do that ceremony here at Town Hall. But we felt that in front of all of her students and all of her paras and everything, it was the best to take it to Bayview School. So it was really a nice thing. So thank you to Ms. Responti, the principal over at Bayview. Thank you to our Board of Education administration, Mary Ellen, Amy, everybody over there for making that possible, for my staff getting everything together as quickly as we did. And then finally, Madam Surrogate, it's great to have you back in the seats out there. With that being said, I'll open up for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment, we ask that Joe's going to bring around a microphone. You can step up to the microphone. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment, we ask that you state your name and address for the record, and that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll let you know that you have 1 minute remaining. Joe is actively tapping on the microphone. There we go. Any member of the public wishing to make a public statement? On down, Tara.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you.
Thank you for your service to the public, as usual. Thank you for your lovely
State your name
presentation.
and your.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tara Fleming, 49 Brandywine Way. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for doing your best to save money for our town. I just had a question. Last year, or maybe the year before, there was a presentation given about a microgrid in Middletown, and I was just wondering on the status of that. I haven't
Uh,
really heard anything about it recently.
Yeah, so it's a great question, Tara. So actually, Tony and I, Philadelphia Navy Yard? Okay, so it's, yeah, Ted went, so Tony, Ted and I went out to the Philadelphia Navy Yard with Naval Weapons Station Earl Commander Ed Callahan and his staff to see how the Philadelphia Navy Yard set up the combination of all the different batteries and natural gas generators and things of that nature that are pretty unbelievable and work at an amazing capacity at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. One thing I did not know is that every submarine propeller that's used in the United States Navy is built at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. And you can only imagine the amount of energy that it takes to produce one of those propellers. And they really gave us a great behind the scenes tour back, background on how this microgrid is set up and how they're doing it in almost a P3 type of way, with a lot of different private businesses that are down there. I think Urban Outfitters is their headquarters is there. So you have all these different things of solar, natural gas, battery storage, and things of that nature. So one of the things that we're waiting on, obviously the state is doing a large push on wind energy. And right now the BPU is soliciting bids for different companies and different private entities to show not only how they are supposed to construct these wind farms, and we have a general idea as to where they're going to go, but how that energy is going to be brought on the shore. And there is thought that I know one application at least, that some of that energy is going to be brought in through Naval Weapons Station Earl. Others is through the Werner substation, which I think is in one of the Amboys, I guess. But there's 80 applications out there. And right now, we want to make this project happen, but we also want to make sure that any type of energy that's being generated is being brought to harden our infrastructure. So part of this process is, and I know no one likes to hear this, especially me, because I'm probably the most impatient person in this room, there's no doubt, is that I'd hate to rush it and miss an opportunity to retrieve some of that energy, then push it forward as fast as we can to make it happen. But you also have to realize that the Navy is involved and the federal government is involved. So we're trying to delicately walk this fine line of going at the right pace, but also trying to get the approvals and procedures done that the U.S. Navy needs, that the Department of Defense needs, to ensure that it can happen when we want it to happen. So I've learned a lot about energy. I got to tell you, I've seen batteries that I did not think existed before, the size of them, but it's an unbelievable process that I think one day will be a true benefit to hardening Middletown's infrastructure.
Right, because there was a couple of presentations, like 2 in a row, and then it was a couple, like probably a year or so went by. I don't know. It was a COVID delay or whatever, but.
Well,
just wondering.
we've had presentations, because it's all being done in large part by private money, right? And we at one point had somebody who was going to be the one financing it, and that kind of went away. So we're going through this process and finding that the redeveloper, developer, whatever they're being designated as, is also a part of the process. So, but it does come up and it is on our radar. So we'll continue to keep it on our radar.
All right, great, thank you.
You got it.
My other question is about this money that's owed to our town from the energy receipts that Ms. Lapp was referring to. What is being done about getting that money? Like, why are they not giving it?
There is a piece of legislation right now, as there always has been in the legislature since 2002, basically, that has worked to restore the energy receipts tax to municipalities. $6 million would be, that's a 12% of our budget.
So if Middletown received all the energy receipts tax that was due, Middletown could immediately turn around and provide a 10% decrease in our tax levy. So there is a piece of legislation that is, that has advanced. I'm cautiously optimistic. But it has passed out of committee to restore the energy receipts tax to the municipalities. Where it goes from there, if it gets through both houses in the legislature, every year I sign a letter requesting that it be restored. Every year we pass a resolution asking that it be restored. But aside from a willingness from the legislature, and don't get me wrong, both parties are responsible because you've had Republican governors and Democratic governors who have let this go. It is not a partisan issue whatsoever. It is a bipartisan problem that both parties have failed to address.
That's usual. It's always both parties. But is the state legislature the one that passed it in the first place to do it that way? And now they're trying to reverse it? Like, how did that?
It-
More of an evolution.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It
It
was,
was money that the municipalities used to get, and then the state said, you know what, to make it easier on the municipalities, we'll collect it for you, then redistribute it to you. And then that didn't really happen.
you
It
can write
happened
the end of
very
that
long.
tale, Tara.
Okay, I was just wondering. And did you find people to run? Because I read in the Middletown minutes or whatever last month that people weren't going to be running again, some of the people on the committee, and hopefully you
Oh,
found.
I
so-
saw, that story was not in the minutes, it was in the patch.
in the past.
The filing deadline, I believe, is April 4th.
I mean, I hope you guys rerun again, but they said this, so I just hope you find people to do it. Okay, all right.
There you go, you've heard it here first, folks.
Right, they said, oh, two of the members.
San Abrino Hybel for Township Committee,
Right,
apparently.
and I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, Tara. Any other member of the public? Abe, I was thinking of you today, my friend. I was going to give you a buzz, and I'm so glad to see you.
Well, I'm glad to see you as well. Abe Littenberg, 41 Hickory Lane, Lincroft. Today's a special day. I think, number one, I think you know how attached I am to hockey in Middletown. I was president that raised the funds for both programs for a number of years, and this really was tremendous effort by North, and going to the state championships, just wonderful. But also, I spent a few minutes over feeling very lonely in the old courtroom, and then I texted Tara and said, "Where are you?" And then directed me over here. And I got to say that in all the years I've observed the Township Committee, that it's always been very dignified. And I think that these digs really accentuate that. So congratulations on this meeting, and I promise that I'll be on time next time.
Thank you, Abe. I appreciate it. We appreciate it very much. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public statement? Okay, seeing no other member of the public stepping forward. First meeting held in this building. Move to close the public portion and adjourn.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel. Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all very much.